Guys, Frieza will finally appear and will show that all the Saiyans are in the palm of his hand and will reveal his plan, and it doesn't end there because Yamoshi is doing everything he can to defeat Hercules, the evil Saiyan. Are you prepared to see all this? So leave your like. Don't forget the goal of 3,000 likes for me to release the next episode, so grab your popcorn and your soda and come with me. In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely in an area of ice mountains where a large part of the mountains had been destroyed and the ice evaporated, it was possible to see Hercules, Yamoshi's firstborn son, looking at his mother and Yuhiko, who had just arrived at the place to help her friend and also take revenge for her companions who recently lost their lives by Hercules' own hands. Hercules said, "I wasn't expecting to see you so quickly, Miss Yuhiko, but I think my beauty is so great that you couldn't stand it and came to see me. But I don't judge. After all, women always go after powerful and imposing men just like me. But I must say that it was not necessary to come to me because I would come to you after resolving the problems with my mother, who apparently you already know very well," said the evil Saiyan in an arrogant and convinced manner while looking at Yuhiko, who ended up sighing and becoming irritated when he saw the boldness of his best friend's eldest son. Yuhiko said, "Was his father as arrogant and proud as this guy? Because I could tell he's as perverted as you, Yamoshi." Yuhiko asked his friend, who sighed and remembered the time she was married to Hercules' father. Yamoshi said, "In reality, his father was more arrogant than him and much more proud. Maybe he inherited some perverted traits from me, but I'm not that bold, or am I?" Yamoshi asked himself before looking at Yuhiko, who found that question very stupid. Yuhiko said, No, you're a saint, and you certainly didn't hit on half the men who passed through the village when I was younger." Yuhiko spoke ironically, as if that question had such an obvious answer, which in the Namekian elders' view was very obvious. The conversation between the two women would continue with some comment from Yamoshi, but before that happened, they both had to dodge a blast of energy that ended up being fired by Hercules, who had gotten bored with that delay, and especially the fact that they were talking bad about him and his father, or that was what he understood from that conversation between the two. Yamoshi said, "Apparently our little conversation ended up making my son angry, so we'll have to stop talking and go back to fighting," Yamoshi said as he landed near his friend, who just sighed. Yuhiko said, "I thought that was already obvious," Yuhiko said before raising his energy, as did Yamoshi, who raised his energy, making Excalibur shine brighter. Somewhere in Universe 7, Frieza said, "It looks like the battle is going to start again. This is incredible. It looks like my plans are finally working out, and those stupid Saiyans' plan went completely wrong. They brought Yamoshi back to defeat my dark form, and I must admit that this woman is incredibly strong. I would be in trouble, but now look, you are fighting yourselves like animals, and I didn't even need to make much effort." Controlling that Hiroke and manipulating his son Hercules was very easy. Now I just need that worm to defeat his mother, the goddess of Saiyans, and Son Goku, and everything will be mine. Do as I ordered, Hercules. Finish them all off. When they saw that Hercules' power had increased, Yamoshi and Yuhiko were surprised and slightly afraid of the evil Saiyan, especially Yuhiko, who ended up witnessing several people in his village lose their lives at his hands, and the expression of pleasure when he did that was the which scared Yuhiko, who at that moment was seeing the same evil expression on Hercules' face. Hercules, in a quick movement, appeared in front of Yuhiko, aiming a punch at his face, but Hercules ended up having his hand cut off by Yamoshi, who cut it with Excalibur, and even though his hand was cut off, Hercules didn't show any pain, and then hit a punch at his mother, who ended up receiving the full blow and was thrown back. Yuhiko, seeing that Hercules was still in front of him, aimed a punch at his stomach, which ended up hitting home, but Hercules made the area he hit release a dark energy that made Yuhiko's fist burn, and before she could get away from him, Yuhiko was finished, receiving a knee that luckily she had managed to defend herself using her hands, but the blow still ended up making her retreat a little, and the moment Yuhiko moved away, Hercules recovered his hand and put it in place, reconnecting it to his arm as well as had done before. Yuhiko said, in addition to being strong, he also has the ability to regenerate. Yuhiko asked, irritated when she saw Hercules with his hand practically intact, but there was a clear line on both of his wrists, which was the place where Excalibur had previously cut. Yamoshi, who had been hit, ended up returning and started hand-to-hand combat against her son, who was managing to defend himself from his mother's blows using his evil keyblades. Hercules said, "What a disappointment. I didn't think that the 7th universe's goddess of destruction would be this weak. But that doesn't surprise me after all. If you were strong, you would have faced and defeated my father, and you wouldn't have chosen your lover to defeat my father. We Saiyans become more powerful when our emotions get too big. So if I take the wife true of Son Goku, would he become more powerful and could he give me a good fight? I don't know, but I think it's worth doing a quick test with Son Goku, said the Saiyan while staring at his mother, who was grinding her teeth upon hearing such words that Yamoshi knew were meant to irritate her, but mainly to irritate Goku, who should have been watching that fight in some way. Yamoshi said, "To be able to do this, you'll have to go through me first." Yamoshi spoke as she released her aura and transmitted it to Excalibur, making its pure power stronger, and this began to drain Hercules' evil energy. Yuhiko said, "I'm here too," said the elder of the Namekians, approaching and trying to land a kick at Hercules, who dodged the blow and did a backflip, taking distance from them. Hercules said, "I will do it with great pleasure." Hercules spoke before moving towards the two women, who also moved towards him. Hercules, in one movement, released his energy, generating a small noise that made the two women move away, and with that, Hercules advanced towards Yamoshi with all his might, but Yuhiko managed to move faster and made his arms stretch out and reach for Hercules' neck, which stopped his advance, and before Hercules could react, Yamoshi swung his sword, making a vertical cut in his abdomen that started in his abdomen and went up to his neck. This made Hercules groan in pain with that attack that seemed to be burning his skin. Yamoshi, seeing that perfect opportunity, ended up preparing himself and making a thrust that would go through Hercules' chest, but when the blade was inches away from Hercules, he disappeared, and when Yamoshi realized it, it had pierced Yuhiko's chest, and this made the two women surprised. But when they looked back, they saw that Hercules was in the place that Yamoshi was previously in, and at that moment, they both realized that he had changed places with Yamoshi so as not to be killed. Hercules, upon seeing the surprised faces of the two women, smiled and then fired a large wave of energy towards the two who were very close, so they were unable to defend themselves from the attack, an attack that ended up destroying everything in front of them, and in the final result generated an explosion similar to an atomic bomb, but on a slightly larger scale. Hercules thought, "Damn, apparently I ended up not taking this battle seriously and ended up using more energy than necessary, but that was good, since now I know what abilities Yamoshi has, and I also know about the effects of that damn sword, which drained a lot of my energy. I need to recover my energy, and what better way to recover my energy than by draining the energy of some humans, and I have a few in mind." Hercules thought as he remembered some human cities he visited recently. In these cities, he turned off his energy to remain discreet and ended up meeting some interesting people, mainly a blonde who seemed to have infinite energy and another blue-haired woman who had a nice body. With such thoughts in mind, Hercules left the place and used one of his abilities to erase his existence, as it would be easier for him to recover his energy that way. After some time, it was possible to see Yamoshi and Yuhiko coming out of a large crater with several injuries on their bodies, especially Yuhiko, who had a large part of his body exposed thanks to the attack that ended up destroying his clothes, and Yamoshi wasn't much different since his clothes were almost completely destroyed. Yuhiko and Yamoshi said, "Damn." The two spoke at the same time in a frustrated tone. After all, their objective was to defeat Hercules, and they had failed and were badly injured at the moment. With that, we will end today's video. If you want to see the continuation of this incredible story, leave a lot of likes on the video and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So see you another day, guys.